Hank Live Show, the absolute finest, best podcast in the history of podcasts, and everybody knows it. I absolutely love doing this podcast with you guys every single week. We're just a little tiny bit late. Don't kill us. Don't kill us this week. Let me see what's going on here. Wow. Does it sound good to everybody? Does it sound good to everybody? So if you're in the comments, make sure that you let me know if it sounds good. This week's show is going to be absolutely amazing. I love this. I love doing this podcast. Hold on, I'm just trying to put up our intro for the week. Here it is. We were having a little bit of trouble uploading today. So we're going to go with that, and here it is. This week's show is going to deal with the influencer's flip. We're going to talk about the Hamas peace deal. We're going to talk about murder suspects on the run in Vermont. We're going to talk about $800 million spent on homelessness in the last few years in Vermont. We're going to talk about the National Guard being deployed to Portland, Oregon. We're going to talk about leftist violence, and we're going to talk about Islamic calls to prayer. We're going to talk about healthcare and sombreros. Trump's been roasting everybody. The Planet Hank Live Show, the finest live show, and it's not even close. So there we go. It's out. She goes, yep, there it is. Yes, sir. It sounds good. Thank you. Now, just a reminder that we are streaming on several different platforms, including Elon Musk's X, which is the absolute finest platform. I suggest everybody hop over there and make sure that you're following along with everything that we do on the Planet Hank Live Show, the Brattleboro News Recap. And this show is going to be much like the other shows. Absolutely wonderful. Rachel Morris reposted the stream. So we're going to break up the way that we do this week. So we've all been watching the government shutdown taking place, which has had me dead. Absolutely hilarious. Watching everybody have these big meltdowns about who's to blame for the for the shutdown. Who's to blame for the shutdown? But I want to play you this video because this topic right here is hilarious. Trump is hilarious. Now, I'll ask you all to share this up and share it into your stories and your timelines and into your favorite groups. That's what American patriots do. We stick up for each other. We do what we need to do to share the message of the Lord and of Hank and of patriots who are actually fighting back against the evil communists. Like our dear President, Donald Trump. Now watch this video that he shared to his Truth Social account.
There's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Yesterday, the president posted an offensive deepfake AI video of Leader Jeffries and me. with sombreros, fake music, impersonating my voice through AI. It wasn't me.
Man, there's nobody like President Trump. Can you believe it? The President of the United States of America posted that to his True Social account. Because meanwhile, they're all butthurt because of Jimmy Kimmel's freaking show. Just a comedian who's not even funny, and his little show got shut down. Meanwhile, Trump's got to start his own social media platform so that he can even share videos, and he's over there roasting Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries with a sombrero on. Day 2 of the Dem-induced government shutdown, October 2nd, and Trump's owning it like a boss. He froze $26 billion for blue states while trolling crybaby Hakeem Jeffrey with the epic sombrero. And we're so tired of listening to them cry racist and offensive. It's their old playbook. You hear Schumer literally whining about getting teased for shutting down the government over their own lies about healthcare. And I'll tell you what, for everybody that wants to cry about when J.D. Vance and Trump and all of everybody says, hey, look, we're not funding healthcare for illegals. I'm telling you, later in this show, I'm going to break it down and discuss exactly how tax dollars are going from our government to illegals. I'm going to break it down real easy, Barney style for everybody. Trump seizes the chaos. He vows permanent cuts to Democratic agencies like deep state bureaucrats, furloughs hitting 2 million federal workers, parks closed but military paid. His unprecedented opportunity to slash waste. So, you know, this is the thing with Democrats. And they're like, they have little signs out with Becca Balin out here. And she had some offensive remarks, called herself some slurs, and just had nasty, gross, bad taste remarks. The sombrero thing was a masterpiece. Let's read some comments. Robert Kinney writes, Trump is a master at trolling, and it triggers the lefties. And it's a beautiful thing. He says, that's all they got, being offended. Charlotte did. She said. Exactly. It is all they have. Oh, we're offended. We're clutching our pearls. We're offended. Oh, my. Todd says, what's up, buddies? What's up, buddies? So the Planet Hank live show is the absolute finest form of entertainment. It gives them what they want. What Trump makes them do, what Trump gives them, Hank gives them. I give them the same thing. I give them an opportunity to be mad. I give them an opportunity to be angry and blame Hank for all of their troubles. It's Hank's fault. Everything is Hank's fault. And so I'll tell you like this. I'm going to do the most patriotic thing I know how to do. I'm going to share this bad boy into some groups, okay? Because that's what makes me feel good. The Planet Hank live show. Hashtag Brattleboro News. And everybody loves that. Southern Vermont Speaks loves it. Proctor Republicans Unite loves it. Trump Daily Report. We're going to skip Brattleboro chat because it's full of communists and scumbag losers. Putney News. Trump, the Golden Age. And the finest group of all, the Planet Hank Locker Room. And I suggest you all get onto that group and share every single day and heart every single thing that I post because I'm hilarious. Scanner gossip, chicken arts, mature member scanner 2.0, keen connection news and alerts, history of Vermont, MAGA Vermont, shout out, 802 VT Alliance, shout out, Donald Trump, MAGA. Let's go. I love sharing this podcast. Jeremy Keys writes, smoke a joint. That would be the most patriotic thing that you could do. And I'll say no, because disgusting liberal drugs are bad. Hispanic groups whine that Trump is racist. Schumer calls Trump a 10-year-old. He's a 10-year-old fascist, apparently. She said that group of yours is a trip. Robert Smith says, Jeremy Keys, amen. And I'll take a drink of that. I'll take a drink to that. The finest entertainment. So this week, we went viral, heavily viral, with one of my finest pit dwellers and cast members. She had a trash skirt on. She had a garbage bag diaper on. And the town of Brattleboro decided that they were offended. They were completely offended. How dare Hank have a moment of fun? I'm not a journalist, but since I'm a journalist, how dare I make a funny video with a woman who is addicted to drugs and was wearing a trash bag around her waist. Now, the video is viral on several platforms. Let me see if I can pull it up for us right now. And I thought it was a lot of fun. And the woman who was in the trash bag thought it was a lot of fun. Let me go ahead and play this. Let me share this for you. Let me go ahead and add this to the stage real quick. Oh, I got to remove this one. Sorry.
This is going on.
Did he just...
I
So
don't know
this
piss in
video
that.
here went highly viral, and I'm just playing it off of
my hand. That's fucked up.
Explain the diaper.
It's wet outside. And I didn't piss myself. I mean, I don't wear underwear, so I mean, there's really no point to wear a diaper. I just kind of go like that. Usually in the grate though, with water rates, there's fish straight down.
You just piss?
If I gotta piss, my business is coming off. I'm pissing.
Did he just...
I don't gotta piss in that. I'm gonna swim in it. It's true. So, I'm done.
I thought this was a new style.
I thought this was about him, not me.
No, this is about you.
Always, right?
In the water.
Shut the fuck up. The hence why I'm wearing this. So there's no saving this one at this point.
So that video captured the hearts and minds of everybody in Brattleboro. And we had, I mean, it's got like 125,000 views on it at this point. Everybody's talking about it. And people are going in the comments. And again, what we were dealing with is the compassion cartel. These people who think that they are somehow worthy of all of our grandeur and worthy of saving everybody with their comments on Facebook. They're going to sit back on Facebook and criticize Hank and say how much of a terrible person I am, while all of us laugh at them and prove once again that they're full of beep and we all don't care what they think. Now, that woman's name is Jordan Maley. She was featured in the Planet Hank reality show, episode 2, Forgive Us of Our Trespasses, discussing her profession the world's oldest profession, and how good she is at it, etc., and her drug use, and this and that. Now, I think that it's very important for people to understand, just because someone is homeless, just because someone is addicted to drugs, does not mean that they can't goof around and have a little bit of fun. She's clearly joking. She's clearly having fun and making a funny video. And it captured everybody's attention and people enjoyed it. That's why it went viral. This isn't a moment that we need your help saving the world, okay? We don't need your help saving Jordan by whining that we shouldn't have a funny video. If she didn't want to make the funny video, then she wouldn't have made it. People are more worried about what I do and how to be mad at me than they are. I mean, she's available every day. You want to go help her? You want to go help her and fix her big bad life? I'll show you how to get there. Speaking of which, here's something I'm asking everybody. Now that it's getting a little colder out, I'm asking for people, if you have any blankets or sleeping bags. I've been asked several times by my cast members and people who are homeless in Brattleboro for blankets, sleeping bags, warm coats. The store that I go to, the thrift store, is out of coats. I've gotten several coats and several blankets out of there to give to some of my cast members and some of these people. And if you have anything extra, let me know and message me, and I would love to be able to get some warm stuff. Charlotte writes, if you don't want to make a video, do your drugs in a more private place. Exactly. Jeremy Key says, how deep in that story did you get? Not deep enough. People need to watch/rewatch the reality series. 100%. People forget what's going on in real life and just lose their minds. They are so quick to pretend like they're offended and forget that how offended they are has no effect on anything at all. So on the Brattleboro News recap show, we do a wonderful thing. I play the finest news in all of the land. And I give us a chance to watch it together and have an open discussion where you can ask questions. And I'll tell you a little bit that you might not have gotten from the video. Now, this video right here is taking pop shots at the homeless shelter nonprofit cartel leaders. The husband, Peter Elwell, married to our Windham County State Senator, Wendy Harrison. Now, Wendy has voted for substantial increases in spending on homelessness in the state of Vermont, which directly benefits her husband's job at this nefarious nonprofit that had a murder and all kinds of complaints and has caused crime and drug usage and everything else, groundworks. Now watch the video and learn something.
Breaking news.
I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com, bringing you the latest from our community. On September 9th, 2025, Groundwork staff Libby Bennett and Peter Elwell presented to the Brattleboro Select Board in public, discussing their mission to shelter the unhoused. They outlined plans for a higher barrier shelter opening next year, addressing safety concerns, drug use prevention, and stricter admission standards compared to the low barrier South Main Street shelter. Yet their vague assurances on weapon screening, conversations with the police, or clearly posted signs reeked of deflection.
One of the things that I rattled off was a weapon screening process, and so that does not include a metal detector. What is your process?
We have had multiple conversations with Brattleboro Police about some best practices around making sure that our signage is posted, that weapons are not allowed on the property. We have spent some time looking at the idea of metal detection and trying to figure out how to get that funded, and we will continue to look at that issue.
Please consider making choices that keep people safe, urges Amanda Thurber. Elwell even downplayed the need for robust measures, claiming the science around security isn't settled. A tone-deaf remark that ignores the brutal reality of Groundworks failures.
Are you raising money specifically for this purpose to ensure the safety of your staff, the clients, and the neighbors?
So the science is actually mixed on this, and I'm not well enough versed in that science to speak as an expert on it. I would just note that we shouldn't assume that a metal detector or a uniformed security person at the door necessarily makes people on the premises or near the premises safer.
They're exploring metal detectors and security, but admit funding talks with donors are dragging on. Liz McLaughlin pushed back by saying, shouldn't funding for safety be a priority? This complacency is no surprise from an organization still haunted by its dark history. Just recall the horrific 2023 murder of shelter coordinator Leah Rawson Pritchard, axed to death in cold blood by one of their own homeless clients at Morningside House. A direct result of lax policies and inadequate protections that Groundworks was fined $5,000 for violating. That tragedy forced a full shutdown of operations for weeks, with staff reeling and services handed off to volunteers, exposing the nonprofit's inability to safeguard its own people, let alone the community. Public outrage at the meeting was raw and justified, as Morningside residents decried the return of chaos, loud disturbances, open drug use, litter, and vehicle thefts, fueled by the low barrier model's reckless leniency. It permits intoxicated guests without ID or checks, endangering sober residents with erratic, violent outbursts and spilling havoc into our streets. Needles everywhere, spiking property crime, and kids caught in the crossfire. Over 100 emergency calls, including overdoses, hit the South Main Street site from April 18th to September 24, 2025 alone. Select Board member Amanda Ellis Thurber rightly demanded proactive safety baked into budgets from day one, a plea residents have screamed for, only to get Elwell and Bennett's condescending smirks and dismissive comments. A Freedom of Information Act request, seen here, revealed Groundworks refused to have security at their shelters in a February 21st, 25 email exchange with Chief Norma Hardy, stating specifically they would not have safety personnel, safety screening, or metal detectors. This seems to differ from Bennett and Elwell's statements to the Select Board. So which is it? Business owners, town workers, and families are fed up, stuck mopping up Groundworks messes, lost revenue, traumatized kids, taxpayer dollars drained on fallout. As one resident nailed it, noble intentions don't absolve ignoring community pleas for real accountability on location, rules, and standards. Groundworks collaboration is a sham when it prioritizes feel-good rhetoric over lives. Liz McLaughlin questioned Libby Bennett about a situation that was revealed on the Planet Hank reality show Episode 1, Compassion is a Drug, involving Groundworks staff failing to contact 911 after a client attempted to hang herself.
This is an email that was sent from the HCRS
crisis worker, police social worker to the chief of police. And it reveals a suicide attempt that happened at Groundworks. And instead of the Groundworks employees calling 911, they called HCRS Crisis instead. 911 was never called, paramedics were never notified, and this woman hung herself unconscious, and nobody did the right thing. They just decided that because they are mad about the police because of their politics and their bias, that they would risk this woman's life, who they swore to protect and took money to protect, and did not give her the opportunity to be checked out by a paramedic or a doctor or go to the hospital or anything. Additionally, I have obtained several emails through ongoing Freedom of Information Act requests showing the organization's refusal to work with law enforcement in an obvious political stance that contrasts Libby's claims that they are working with police. So the higher barrier shelter could be a chance to pivot, but without ditching the reactive mindset that killed Leah and plagued South Main Street, it'll just breed more distrust and danger. Groundworks must own its track record of failed ideologies and commit to everyone's safety or step aside. I'll keep you updated as this story develops. For the latest, follow me on social media and visit our website. I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com.
Okay. That story, I love teasing them. They do such a bad job, and everybody knows it. Even the homeless people don't like them. They really don't. As we creep over 100 live viewers, keep in mind, we're looking for shares. We're looking for some love. Tag somebody who might have a story. Now, you ask yourself, what's the point? Why are they going to the town for these check-ins? What can we do now? Well, for one thing, is Peter Elwell, who said the science behind having security and metal detectors isn't settled. Whatever that means, buddy. Whatever that means. Because that's hogwash. Absolute hogwash. This is this lazy, liberal machine. They've gotten away with support from sheep for so long. They have no idea what they're talking about. OSHA says they need to have weapon screening and a security guard, and they don't have it. He makes all these excuses, and you can see it on his face that he thinks he's going to use some strange tone and mention this. The science is not settled behind this. And what we found, none of that matters. What are the rules? You're not following them, and we want you to, because you are absolutely making Brattleboro more dangerous. And your ability to talk is very limited. And we take offense to the fact that you think that you're just going to sneak this stuff by and nobody's going to notice. Those days are over. I'm watching. And when I see this liberal BS, we are going to call you out, and we are going to watch, and we are going to vote you out and work against you. And we're going to get Wendy Harrison, your wife, out of office. We're done with it. We're done with her. Voting against our interests in Brattleboro and making our state of Vermont worse. VOSHA has such a huge backlog of cases from COVID, they can't catch up. And places like this are trying to slide this in under the radar without getting caught. Robert Kenny writes, I'm pretty sure the science of metal detectors works for the TSA at airports. Yeah, the science of metal detectors and armed security, uniform security is settled. I can confidently say the science behind security, making things more secure, is settled. Regardless of what these liberal, brain-dead zombies want you to believe or want you to accept, sneaking down to our select board meetings in our little town and feeding us BS to try to get their projects funded, to try to get approval, to try to sneak underneath OSHA standards. And what everybody needs to do is call John Potter, our town manager, and demand that they are shut down and that they have to have their OSHA standards met. They need to have security, and call the town manager at the municipal and say, absolutely not. This cannot happen. They already had a murder. It's going to happen again. And we're sick of the budget, including $75,000 for these people to break the rules, to ruin our communities. It's enough. And here's a refreshing comment, because so many liberals in this town always say, oh, well, I walk on Flat Street. And it's fine. It's so wonderful. And I'm not ever scared. And they try to dismiss people's stress and fears and deny that there's public safety issues. The Doxy writes, my wife walks Flat Street every day for work, and there isn't a day that goes by that I don't pray for her safety. I'm praying with you. I'm praying with you on that one. Wono writes, Peter Eltwart presents as furious, uninterested, and uninformed. Oscar presents as sleepy. He should have worn his Cookie Monster pajamas, since he has no problem dressing like a high school student in a room full of adults. Facts. My article came out calling him Sleepy Oscar Heller, and several people made comments to me discussing why is he wearing a dirty sweatshirt. Everybody else has like a collar on and is in business casual, and this guy's just wearing like a sweatshirt and looks like he's about to pass out. The Planet Hank live show. Now, I promise you one thing. I will always fight for what's right in our town, in our state, in our country. I will push back on the liberals, on the cancel culture, on all their BS. I'm not having it anymore. I think everybody's done with it. But I will tell you this. The Brattleboro News Recap Show is the absolute finest form of entertainment on the internet today, and it's not even close.
Planet Hank Live, the absolute finest entertainment on the internet. Join us in fighting back against evil.
It's hotter than a blacktop in July, sweating like a sinner in a church, and I just wanna get out with my crew tonight and shoot at the lights. Got a couple 40s full of hops and fun, looking for a good time, gotta live it up. Leave behind the city, hop inside my truck. No, we don't give up. We're gonna paint the night red. Who can holler till we're dead? We're down to turn up. We're up to get down. Saying, hey, y'all.
So there you have it. Let's do what we do every week, and let's thank some sponsors. I am telling you, this is the best form of entertainment. We got the news. Everybody's watching this. Our views are exploding. If you have a business, get up with me. Kings Electric, the absolute finest electrical contractors in the land. Residential and commercial. Give them a call. Get your house wired up. Kresge's, the absolute finest automobile mechanic shop, located on Canal Street in downtown Brattleboro. If you're having car issues, if you need routine maintenance, hit them up. Give them a call. My buddy Mike Borio, highly qualified male, patriot, and wants the town of Brattleboro to be doing its best. Huge shout out to Raj Towing and Repair. I love this crew. God-fearing people, always supporting me, fearless against the evil that is trying to seep into our communities. They have a full-service mechanic shop. They're the only gas station in Putney, right off Exit 4. Hit them up. And my buddy over at MOB Pilot Car, Mike O'Brien, a true patriot, always supporting Hank. Very important to keep supporting me as the evil communist liberals try to destroy us and destroy our communities, making it unsafe for everybody. These select patriots have done their best to support the Brattleboro News, real progress, and the very best good boy in the world, Hank, in my quest to take out the evil scum liberals who have destroyed everything for our families and our communities and flooded our towns with drugs and misery and continue to waste our money on nonsense spending, liberal policies like climate, special interest groups, forcing disgusting moralist decisions on our children. And we are fighting back. Planet Hank Live show airs every Thursday night, 8 p.m. And we have several opportunities throughout the week to enjoy our magnificent content, which everybody loves. Everybody knows it. And this is going to be no different. Now, I have a very important event, October 18th in Chester, at the gazebo in the center of town. Now, the libtards are planning on having a big protest where they're going to say a bunch of trashy stuff. They're going to swear, use bullhorns. They got Becca White out there, the woman who sponsored the decriminalized prostitution bill and is always out there causing havoc and showing us exactly who they are. And we want to push back against them. I will be speaking. I will also have Gerald Malloy, Greg Thayer, Tom Charlton, and Roy Spalding all speaking. It's going to be a large event. We're going to have tons of people out there waving American flags. You're going to get a chance to see me push back against their BS. It's going to be a great time. And I know a lot of you love hearing me speak and going to my events, and this will be more of that. Except this time, I feel like we're going to get some good protesters, and we're going to get some really, really exciting pushback and chance to tell people our positions. And we have an exclusive inn with a very nice restaurant and bar right there on site, which the owner is a huge supporter of mine and Republicans and the right thing to do, being a patriot for the American flag and this country. And so we're going to have a huge meet and greet afterwards where I'll get to, have drinks and hang out and talk and tell each other our ideas and plan our next moves. And it's going to be a great time. So again, that's October 18th in Chester. And I'm very excited for that one. So come on out. Put it on your calendars now and make a plan to get there. This next story is absolutely hilarious. But first, let's go ahead and check out the weather. that sun all weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, with Tuesday being partly cloudy. And Wednesday, I guess it's gotta rain. If it's gotta rain, whatever. Whatever. One day ain't bad. The Brattleboro News Weather Report, Planet Hank Live. I'm going to be out on my boat all weekend. And I'm going to love it. And I'm absolutely going to love it. Probably the last weekend of all sun like that. So I'm going to get out there. I just caught a big bass the other day out there. Planet Hank Live show. Let me go ahead and try something here. We're going to get right into these stories. I have so much for you guys, and I love it. So this next story is something that you can see online. I know you've all seen a bunch of clips, so I'm going to play a video, and then I'm going to let us all talk about it.
Social media is about Israel, but this is not Israel. This is America. It's pretty sick, actually. Not healthy at all, but there is a way to fix it, and we'll tell you what it is, 8 p.m. tonight with Jeffrey Sachs.
And of course, the debate over whether or not to recognize a Palestinian state came up. Just the UN General Assembly as a whole pushing very hard for other countries to recognize a Palestinian state, something that President Trump in the United States vigorously rejected today at the UN General Assembly. President Trump said, we're not recognizing a Palestinian state because that would provide a reward for Hamas, who has not released all of the hostages and has carried out a lot of barbaric acts against people and acts of terrorism that they haven't really displayed any desire to stop anytime soon, right?
For Hamas terrorists, for their atrocities, this would be a reward for these horrible atrocities, even while they refuse to release the hostages or accept the ceasefire.
I think the Pied Pipers of this new movement are realizing that there are a lot of down and out young people whose lives are really messed up. And, you know, when that happens, they look for someone to blame. So they're finding that they're getting a receptive audience. People become very distrustful. They're very willing to believe even the most preposterous theories. And so it is a little hard to believe that, you know, that you have rational people who listen to one of Candace's, quote, investigations. These are not investigations. They're just wild allegations, sort of leading questions, bogus investigations that never produce a single fact, a single reliable theory that you can work with. They never reach any conclusion. And the moment they run out of gas, a new incendiary accusation comes in its place. I mean, there's an element that's almost of dark comedy here. You know, it is ultimately an intellectualism and an iconoclasm that is absolutely for stupid people.
So that last part, really, I really like to hear people finally saying that. So podcasters like Tucker Carlson, Cannon Owens, Nick Fuentes, Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro, they were once Trump ride or die, fought tooth and nail with the liberals. They were all about Team America, and they've been going off the deep end. They're leading the bitch fest against him. This America First thing where they want to switch up on Israel. And I'm not ready to do that. It sounds like a liberal trap to fracture the GOP coalition that prevented us from having a Kamala Harris administration right now. And if they keep this up, this infighting and screaming about stuff that really doesn't matter, it's going to equal a Gavin Newsom presidency. Newsom Harris. It's going to usher in communism. The other thing is, Hamas wouldn't agree to it anyway. They didn't agree to it every other time. Why would they agree to it this time? It seems like it's paving the way for a Newsom-Harris takeover in 28. Time to call out the grift. Here's the thing. These podcasters are unreliable. We have no idea where they got their money. If they took money, who's paying them? Who's influencing them? They sometimes post things for rage bait. They post things to get a reaction out of people. Have they been influenced by Iranian Islamic intelligence? By Israeli intelligence? Where's it all coming from? And what are the implications? So a lot of these podcasts, they jump into the mix. Tucker Carlson, ex-Fox kingpin, built empire on Trump love. That was his bread and butter. We all watched him on Fox News. Now he blasts Trump for the Israel-Iran strikes, and he was wrong. He said, "Oh, we're gonna go to World War III. We're gonna be sending our kids over to die." Not true. Didn't play out that way. Trump was right. Trump was right. No World War III. Peace is brewing. His panics ignore our booming economy, post-reform tariffs, slashing egg prices, slashing all kinds of costs. Pure Mossad Islamic dollar psyop to sow infighting. Totally a plant. I understand when people say, "Oh, why is Israel influencing us? Why is AIPAC giving all kinds of money to our politicians?" Why do you want to break up the coalition that let us have a win last November? It hasn't even been a year, and you're trying to take it down now? We need to keep going and team up and secure the primaries and secure the next presidency. If we tear ourselves apart so that some podcasts can get some views, okay, so that Candace Owens can get some views, we're going to hand them the game. Candace Owens, black conservative firebrand, hyped Trump endlessly. Now she was out there embarrassed over Gaza. Calls him a Zionist. She's literally calling Trump a Zionist. Trump nailed it. Hamas peace deal imminent. Bibi's teenage-style apology to Qatar on Trump's nudge. He was holding the phone. It was like dad making you call and apologize for bombing them. The America First rage, it's planted liberal bait to break up the GOP from the inside. They're controlling our government. They're in charge. No, they're not. They're in the hot seat in the Middle East getting rockets dumped on their kids. And we're shelling out a few bucks to them to keep them in that spot so that they don't start attacking us. They're our allies. Oh, but they pay through PAC money to our politicians just so they can win. And the Dems don't win. What do you want? You want, okay, no money to the politicians, and then the Dems get all the money. No Israeli dollars, and then the Dems get all kinds of money and win. Do you want the Dems to win? It's ridiculous. It's nonsense. And it's a plant. You're taking the bait. Nick Fuentes, out of control. This guy's out of control. He's camouflaged to all of the other conservatives who they used to call radicals and racists and everything like that, trashing Charlie Kirk. Go listen to Nick Fuentes if you think Charlie Kirk was a problem. He had a dinner with Trump in Mar-a-Lago, turned into a fanboy. But now he's having a little meltdown. Trump's compromised on Israel, Epstein files, Chinese visas, rage tweeting. And that's the thing about Nick Fuentes. He's literally rage baiting people. It's a technique to say things to get people mad so they will comment and engage with you. And I try not to take debate on many of these liberal X accounts because my whole feed's full of them. They'll just, and then I just notice that I'll sit there and start trashing them out. And my only engagement is me like trashing out Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and the Krasensteins. And all I do is sit there and trash them out and trash them out. Wono writes, Nick Fuentes is a shapeshifter who only says what will get the most attention. He isn't even truly racist. 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with that. It's an act. It's rage bait. When he says controversial things, people react with his content, share it up, and pull the whole, oh, I can't believe he said that. Watch this. I'll tell you like this, though. People like that run camouflage for everybody else. While liberals are trying to cancel and call everybody racist, when they see some truly racist stuff, they'll understand that every single argument and anybody who has a different opinion than them, that isn't equal, oh, they're racist. Absolutely not. You want to complain about something, go complain about Nick Fuentes. Leave us alone. We're talking. Jeff Bush writes, no matter what happens, no matter what agreement happens, it doesn't matter. Palestine wants Israel wiped off of the map. It doesn't matter what deal anybody makes. Exactly right. Trump wins. He's always right. So all of these podcasters becoming panickies and messing everything up for the GOP, it makes no sense. They're bailing out and freaking out to rage bait. And I feel like they're getting a lot of attention from Republicans getting mad at them. Being like, what the hell is wrong with you? Making a bunch of comments on their positions, and all of us in the comments saying, okay, whatever, and complaining that I don't like what Candace is saying. I don't like what Tucker's saying. And then people arguing about it. That is getting them engagement and money and followers and all of this. Ukraine de-escalated. No Iran war. Big, beautiful bill reforms. Fueling growth. Fuentes' Edgelord Act. Bought and paid for, harming more than helping, 100%. Tim Pool on the Timcast. Bernie-clad Timcast, bro. Rally streaming Trump stand. He now moans about Rhino advisors. Ukraine aid as provocation. But met Bibi to push pro-Israel. His whole entire brand was built on the Orange Man good. Now Orange Man enemy? I don't think so. He flip-flops. They're all flip-flopping, and it's to get views. So before you allow them to break up our coalition, make sure you know that if you lose support in the home team, you are going to hand the primaries and the next election for the presidency to the DNC, and all the woke BS is coming back. And this time they're going to go crazy with illegals and trans and everything, and they are going to shut us down and destroy this country once and for all. The influencers flipped echo chamber to complaint central. Wars, donors, deep state. It's kind of annoying. I get annoyed with it. The infighting. We have infighting here in the Vermont GOP group too. Everybody grappling for power. Everybody's mad at one other person. Nobody wants to have this person win an election or that person. We need to team up together and put the heavy hitters in place so that we can win. so that we can win. You're mad that Israel is donating money to our politicians so that our team can win? Make that make some sense. It makes no sense at all. So let's talk about the Hamas peace deal. Watch this video.
Peace plan in Gaza now in the hands of Hamas. The terror group's expected to reach a decision in the next couple of days, but a Hamas official tells the BBC that the group will likely reject the offer, claiming the plan only serves Israel's interests.
But the truth is, it doesn't serve the Hamas leadership well. They want to continue to conduct terror campaigns like the one they did on October 7th. But we know this, it serves the people of Gaza incredibly well and the people of Judea and Samaria equally well. This is a good solution. It gets all 100% of the hostages home, those that are alive and those that are not, and provides a model for Israeli security and sovereignty. This is a really good outcome. As for what Hamas will do, I know there's a lot of optimism that the devil's in the details on these things. And not only do they have to say yes, they then have to implement it. They have to live with it. And to think that Hamas will self-disarm seems to me to be a bit of a stretch. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that they will see that this is a terrible decision to reject this. But to see these terrorists turn over their weapons and hand over these hostages would be a truly remarkable diplomatic achievement. And I pray that it's so.
So the Hamas peace deal, let's get into it. Fired up October 2nd. President Trump's dropped a 3 to 4 day ultimatum on Hamas with his 20-point Gaza peace plan. If they balk, he's greenlighting Israel to crush the terrorists with full U.S. might. This is Trump's genius at work, ready to prove he's right again, just like the Abraham Accords. Let's roll. Straight from his Netanyahu sit-down, Trump's plans demand an instant ceasefire. Hamas release all 46 Israeli hostages, dead or alive, in 72 hours. Israel frees 250 jailed Palestinian terrorists, plus 1,700 detained since October 7th, including women and kids. Gaza transformed into a de-radicalized, terror-free zone under Palestinian technocratic team with Trump's Board of Peace. He's the chairman. Tony Blair's in, calling the shots. Massive rebuild, economic zone, UN Red Crescent, aid flood, Hamas tunnels and weapons obliterated. No forced exodus. Hamas fighters who comply get amnesty, safe passage. There's tons of stuff in this. But again, are they going to ever agree to this? Hamas doesn't want that. Hamas wants to attack stuff. It's a terrorist group, terrorist organization. They're holding Gaza in the hot seat and keeping all of those people captive so that they can try to turn the favor of the world against Israel. And it's working. With all of these influencers bitching, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, Tucker, all of them, and it's rumored, and Loomer's out here saying, hey, they all took money from Qatar. They all took Islamic dollars. So we're out here wondering, what's the point? And is it having more harm? Hamas doesn't care. They're using it for propaganda. They're never going to agree to a deal that says that they can't be terrorists anymore. That's all they're good at. And their leaders are billionaires off of this. We've given them so much money to try to make peace deals, to try to rebuild, to try to save the people of Gaza. They don't want that. They want to create propaganda and get the liberals standing on the side of the street, waving their flags and sending their money and watching their purses get bigger and bigger and bigger. Ryan Perez, right? My boy Hank leveled up. Yeah, that's right. We're leveling up over here. What the F did I just tune into? And let me remind you, we got 200 live viewers across all platforms. We're blowing up on X. Make sure you follow me on X, at Planet Hank 1. Facebook censoring this bad. And so I guess we're going to see what happens here with the Hamas peace deal. But I think everybody's like, Hamas is never going to agree to this. They might come in after. They might come in at the last moment. So we'll see. So we had another story came out of Vermont. This one was wild. This one right here is wild. Watch this.
Murder suspects from Vermont are currently behind bars in Massachusetts following a 9-day search that ended in our region. According to Vermont authorities, tips from the public and a be on the lookout alert led Mass State troopers to pull over a pickup truck in West Springfield yesterday. Inside were 36-year-old Justin French and 33-year-old Kayla Cabey, who had reportedly stolen the truck from a homeowner they burglarized, assaulted, and robbed in Vermont earlier in the day yesterday. The pair had been on the run since September 20th for a road rage incident in which they allegedly shot at a person they knew. Arrest warrants were issued throughout New England and New York as the two were able to evade authorities despite multiple run-ins with police. French and Cabey are being held on numerous charges in Massachusetts, with more charges to be brought against them in Vermont.
So it was pretty wild. I was out there with the police trying to chase down this vehicle. Road rage turns deadly September 29th, 2025, with a shootout chase from Vermont to Massachusetts. 2 armed suspects nabbed, proving our cops are heroes keeping chaos off our highways and our streets. This is why we need law and order, and defund the police has always been flawed, nonsensical policy. And the liberals, they don't care. What are they going to do to protect you when someone shoots up your home or your family or business and takes off and drives across the state in high speed? They can't do anything. We're going to send a social worker? Forget it. September 20th, Route 302, South Reigate, Vermont. Road rage explodes between 2 known parties, not strangers. Suspects Justin French, 36, and Kayla Cabey, 33, from Bradford, Vermont, allegedly fire shots during a chase through Groton, Reigate, Newbury. No injuries, but bullets did fly. Reckless endangerment, attempted murder charges pending. Warrants issued across New England. Duo labeled armed and dangerous. So the takedown. They were spotted in southeast Vermont, triggering a multi-agency manhunt. They flee to Mass into West Springfield. State troopers corner them and pit them and arrest them. So we were driving around, for all of you in Brattleboro, we were driving around on Putney Road and up towards Dummerston and in the back roads and chasing them all around. And there was a situation where basically their car got stuck and they abandoned it and ran and stole another pickup truck. I didn't cover the story also because it was kind of boring. There was no footage. I never saw the vehicle. If I had got some video footage of the vehicle, there was a ton of radio chatter. But that's about it. Thank you for the stars, Jeff Bush. Wono writes, a couple that plays together stays together. She looks really happy. Road rage shootings are up 20% per the FBI. Stress, bad drivers, guns in the wrong hands, highway turning into battlegrounds, families at risk. All this liberal defund the police, harm reduction. This is the stuff. This is the stuff. Nobody cares. They're not going to get in trouble. They're going to get out of jail with a warning. They're going to have to go to therapy. Oh, sorry you shot up your buddy's car. Now you need to go to anger management for two classes of anger management. So French and KB will face trial in Vermont. Expect hard time if guilty. BS. Absolutely not. They'll be let out. We all know it. They'll be driving around. They won't even take their licenses away. So this next story is about $800 million spent in Vermont on homelessness. Watch this video.
Homeless encampment behind the gas station off Putney Road by Exit 3. There are several tents and 20 to 25 people living in a tented community. Residents of this community use walkie-talkies to communicate due to the size of the encampment and how it stretched down paths through woods. The police were called after a physical altercation led to one man being knocked out. After arriving, Brattleboro police quickly realized they needed support from other agencies due to the size and location of the fight. One man became very aggressive after finding out his handle of liquor was
Somebody
gone.
owes me for my fucking bottle now. Dead ass. Yo. I swear to God, everybody owes me right fucking now. Right now, because this shit's crazy. Like,
I know, I do.
Nobody even cared I was in the fucking hospital
I know,
today.
I did.
And then while I'm gone, people stealing from me? That's fucking crazy, yo. Everybody can go fuck themselves. Get away from my fucking tent. Dead ass. And I don't know why these pigs are here like they gonna do something. I'm in my own home. I have the right to be upset. Do I not?
Windham County sheriffs and state police showed up to help.
Hey, Nikolai. Is that you? The police. Are you okay? What's going on? You just sleeping? I took a bloody knuckle. I don't know what that told me.
There were no arrests made.
Okay, so you get the point. Big homeless encampment. All right. So over the last decade, Vermont dumped $800 million into solutions for the homeless. And in that time, the crisis, the homeless population in this state has tripled. Tripled. We are number one in homelessness increase out of all 50 states. Socialist spending gets you more homeless people, period. More tents, misery, zero accountability. Places like Groundworks funded up to their eyeballs, driving out of there in Volvos, wearing clogs. Homeless population exploded threefold. So we have 8,500 homeless people, 4,500 homeless people in the state of Vermont. 800 million divided by 4,500 is like $135,000. We could have written every homeless person a check for $135,000 after all the spending that we've done. Crazy. Auditor Doug Hoffer, yeah, damn, slams it. No comprehensive data tracking what works or why folks are boomeranging back to the gutter. Yeah. You think it's drugs and freebies and handouts? What went wrong after you were provided with temporary or permanent housing that required you that you come back again? That data does not exist. It's ridiculous. $800 million. And the population of homeless people has tripled. What we are doing is not working. We need our people who are elected officials to get out of office. You've spent all this time and money and tripled the problem. We're done with you. We're voting you out. We need Vermont to be affordable. We need to reduce crime, increase police spending, and make this place normal again. There's no way around it. Doxy writes, does that fall under waste, fraud, and abuse? 100%. Everything the liberals want to spend money on is waste, fraud, and abuse. Everything they tell you is a lie. They're lying. So Trump's out here. Trump is not stopping at Portland. Trump sent the National Guard to Portland to shut down Antifa. October 2nd, 2025, his National Guard blitz not only hit Portland, it's also hitting Chicago with 100 troops inbound to shield ICE from radical left mobs. Trump's calling out blue city disasters as training grounds for real warriors, proving he's right again on law and order. And the libs are going wild. I have documents from our indivisible groups here in Vermont that were busing 4 busloads full of crazy white liberal women down to D.C. to protest Trump fighting crime. And it's the same in Portland and Chicago. They're out there. Now they're protesting against Trump stopping crime. Like, what are you defending? Your positions are untenable. You sound ridiculous. You sound like Peter Elwell saying the science behind security is not settled. Yeah, it's settled. And it's settled that we're sending the National Guard out to blue cities to shut this BS down. Watch this video. They're out of their mind if they think that we're going to let this continue. %100 are not going to allow this to happen. Oh, hold on. I got to remove one. National Guard troops at DHS request. 100 troops federalized for 60 days. Hilarious. I love watching them have their little meltdowns. Look at this. Look at the violence in this video. How are they even defending this? And then obviously we saw the content from Los Angeles when they're like burning cars and attacking the police. Why do they think, oh, we have the right to protest? Protesting is not going to the police station and attacking cars and throwing fire bombs and fireworks and all of the crap that they're doing. It's ridiculous. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're lying. We all know they've been lying. They've been burning down cities for years. Trump shot back at them. Trump said, if the governor won't call, we're going in anyway. We have the right to do anything I want to do. Who cares? Why do we listen to people who call themselves communists and anarchists and Antifa, that's now a terrorist organization? We don't need your help running the country. In fact, we're taking the country back. He said, yes, they need the National Guard there. 100%. If only we had this response to the BLM riots that destroyed so many small businesses. 100%. He said, is that Portland? Yes. Ridiculous. Portland's been out of control forever. Full of liberal nonsense. Oh, this next one. This next one is crazy too. Enough to make your blood boil. So, over in Dearborn, Michigan, the beating heart of America's Arab community, residents are up in arms over mosques blaring the Islamic call to prayer at 5 a.m. sharp through deafening loudspeakers. It's not gentle church bells. It's 5 times daily they broadcast declaring Muhammad as Allah's messenger, invading homes, shattering the morning peace. One fed-up local, Andrea Unger, told the city council straight, it's forcing us to listen to in our own yards. This is the new normal in a town where 1/3 of voters backed Hamas sympathizers in the primaries. Welcome to the fruits of unchecked immigration. Their liberal council shrugs off sanity. At packed council meetings, brave citizens invoked noise ordinances and begged for relief. Listen to this. Listen to this. Crazy. I'd be pissed. Okay. Absolutely pissed. Mayor Abdullah Hamoud, fresh off escorting a Christian pastor as not welcome for calling out terrorist street naming. They're naming their streets after terrorists who went down for being martyrs or blowing themselves up or completing some sort of huge attack. Crazy. So Sharia creeps into the suburbs. This isn't isolated. We got to be careful about this stuff. They got their big mayor thing going on where they have the socialist mayor candidate. Cost of open borders. Blame the border crisis. How many people came across the border? We don't know. Biden had the thing wide open and they stormed our borders. I think it's more like 40 million people. I think it's more than that over the decades that it was open. Dearborn's mosques violate regulations, but who enforces them? Because they won't. These liberal city councils and these places that allow themselves to be overrun and invaded, they won't do anything against a mosque. No way. We demand equal rules for all faiths. It's got to stop. I'd be pissed. Imagine if you woke up every day listening to that crap. It just make you have to want to move. Imagine like living there and having all kinds of equity and family in a community, and then it turns into that because of some crazy radical liberal BS. Enough. Okay, so we got a quick story right here on the yogurt killers. I can't believe it's yogurt. So a tragic night in Austin on December 6, 91. 4 innocent teenage girls, 13-year-old Amy Ayers and 17-year-old Eliza Thomas and her sisters Jennifer and Sarah Harbinson, 17 and 15, were working or visiting the I Can't Believe It's Yogurt shop in Austin, Texas. They were bound, sexually assaulted, shot execution style, and the store set ablaze to cover the horror. This unspeakable evil shattered a community, leaving families in endless grief for over 3 decades. A botched pursuit of justice in the chaotic aftermath, Austin police arrested and convicted 4 local teens based on coerced confessions, leading to wrongful imprisonments and overturned verdicts. Dozens of false confessions flooded in, including from notorious criminals, but DNA mismatches exposed the grave errors. This case became a stark warning against rush judgments and overzealous interrogations that destroy young lives. There was all kinds of fallout from this. It was crazy. They did a big story on HBO about it. Robert Eugene Brashers, a depraved serial killer, was finally found, and he killed himself. He evaded justice until 1999 during a suicide standoff. Brashers embodied the unchecked evil that preys on the vulnerable when law enforcement falters. It's crazy. So it's back in the news. There's been some big developments, and check it out. It kind of reminds me of some of the stories that we've seen come out, such as the subway stabbing and then the Federico murder, where you saw the father. I shared the video on my Facebook and all my social platforms where the father testified against the liberal board and yelled at them for releasing a felon who had 39 convictions in the last few years and was still out of jail. This reminds me of that. This story here is absolutely hilarious. Everybody's favorite, Greta Thunberg, is arrested again. And we all know that we love it. MAGA Patriots. On October 2nd, 2025, climate scold Greta Thunberg finally gets the boot, detained by Israeli forces on a clown show Gaza aid flotilla surrounded by soldiers like the hypocrite she is. So Israel's Navy smashed her propaganda stunt. She's such a virtue signaler. She's out there trying to make little social media and everything. She looks like one of Willy Wonka's, what are those little guys called? Proving once, back our ally, crush the Hamas lovers. Trump's right. Strong borders, strong seas, no room for Soros puppet. She's a Soros puppet. Israeli Navy intercepts 39 vessels of the so-called Global Sumud Flotilla, 50 boats, 500 activists from Spain, Italy, Brazil, sailing a month from Europe with aid to break the Gaza blockade. Thunberg's boat first hit 75 miles off Gaza. Commandos board, detain her and her pals. Hilarious. Remember the videos of them before trying to act like they were being like abused while they were eating little sandwiches? Oh my God. The whole world is rejecting liberals and their virtue signaling and their phoniness. and their cancel culture, and they're all offended by sombrero memes and lying. We know you're lying, and we don't like it. And now this next part right here, I'm going to play the president, the vice president. Listen to what he says.
Because they realize it's such a preposterous position to say, we're going to shut down TSA, we're going to not pay our troops because you guys won't give us benefits for illegal aliens. It's crazy, and I don't think it's a tenable political situation for them to be in.
So, Vice President Vance calls it out. And they're so busy trying to pretend like that they're not giving free medical, free benefits to illegal aliens. They always try in their arguments, and you'll see their little reels, especially in Vermont. We have Becca Balint, Peter Welch, and Bernie Sanders, and they're busy all day with AOC and Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer and the whole gang of dastardly Dems doing everything that they can to misrepresent what our money is being spent on. They'll say, oh, they're taking food from children. They're taking Medicaid from humans. And we all know what that means. So simple talk about something very sneaky that they're doing and how blue states slip free benefits to illegals through their loopholes. So federal rules say no taxpayer cash for illegals. But states say, watch this, and use their own money to play hero. With the shutdown fight raging, time to break it down. So Uncle Sam says, no federal benefits for undocumented folks. Full Medicaid health coverage, food stamps, SNAP, or cash welfare. It's been a law like that since 1996. But here's the loophole. States can use their money, your state taxes, to fund look-alike programs. It's not illegal, but it's a backdoor way to reward border jumpers. Simple example, federal Medicaid, no for adults, but a state program called Medi-Cal in California, yes for everyone. Like giving your kids lunch money to the neighbor's stray dog. Feels wrong, right? Like totally ridiculous. They get reimbursed with federal funds or snatch your state taxes through these random programs that will give benefits. Healthcare loophole. States tax doctors and hospitals to pay their share of Medicaid. Federal rules allow it, but some twist it. They use that cash to free up state funds for immigrant health plans. In New York, their essential plan covers 1 million plus undocumented adults with free checkups, ER visits, even births. $6 billion from state coffers. Illinois had HBIA for adults under 65, but paused new signups in 2025 because costs exploded. Here's an emergency twist. Feds pay for ER care only, like $16 billion since 21 per the CBO. But states stretch it to prenatal stuff or stabilizing babies or find other ways. Anchor babies get full kid benefits later. One trip to the hospital and boom, the whole family's hooked. So you get an anchor baby in there and they're covered, and then the benefits come flying in for everybody else. Welfare and food tricks. No federal SNAP for illegals, but 6 states, California, Illinois, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Washington, and I don't know how Vermont's not on this list. Thank God for Governor Phil Scott, because we would be. They run state-funded food help, covers thousands ineligible federally. Okay, so cash aid, giving them cash. Minnesota Family Investment Program gives state bucks to immigrant families. No status check. Even school lunches or WIC nutrition, kids get it regardless. Pulling parents in. Mixed families and illegal parent U.S. kids can claim benefits for the citizen child, but it subsidizes the entire household. CBO says 16 million illegals game this nationwide, using a U.S. anchor baby to basically backdoor the whole system and drain state funding. Your tax dollars buying groceries for folks who snuck in. Trump's 2025 laws crack down, cut federal matching for states that cheat, saving billions. So they stopped. We are stopped giving federal money to it. But so if you live in one of these states doing that, your tax dollars are getting drained to pay for illegals. And they're lying about it. He goes, it's more than that. There's way more in that. It's not just health insurance, 100%. It's not just health insurance. It's cash, it's food. There's all kinds of other state programs and help and credit cards and car funds, housing. There's tons. Simple fix, close the state back doors, enforce the borders and shut it down. It's not compassion. It's just a magnet to draw more people in. And at this point, we all know why they want this. He goes, what about all the undocumented immigrants that were given Social Security numbers? 100%. So they're using that for more than paying taxes. So when they get, and I have a source who told me all about this, when they get Social Security numbers, now they're eligible to ask for SNAP benefits and other program benefits with their Social Security number. And then the states who disperse the SNAP benefits ask for reimbursements from the federal government. That's how it's done. You're an illegal, you get a Social Security number, and you start applying for all of these handout programs and benefit programs, and you get them because there's an incentive for the state to spend their own money and hand it out and then ask for the reimbursements from the federal government, and there's not enough oversight, and these programs were getting reimbursed and draining federal dollars. And then there you have it. And now it's getting shut down. And the liberals are having meltdowns and refuse to fund the government. And it's nuts. It's nuts. Said the U.S. is already overloaded, 100%. Brenda writes, I know someone who goes to the food bank here and gets for 5 people, and it's only him. Seems like nobody checks. She said Oompa Loompas. Yes, Greta looks like an Oompa Loompa. Yes, everybody's writing Oompa Loompa. Paula Colburn writes, State of Vermont welcomes, or I should say invites people because of their socialist policies, like food and shelter, safe place to do drugs, give out clean needles and Narcan. Vermont's soft on crime. Let the dangerous felons out with no bail or any consequences or crimes committed. And I'm right with you on that. And it's very important for all of us to pay attention to this. Now, Paula Colburn with this comment, she's the mother of the deceased young man who was stabbed and murdered to death on Flat Street here in Brattleboro last summer by Levatus Williams. So sorry for your loss. And so sorry that so many liberals here in Vermont refuse to accept that their ideas and their plans have failed. They don't know what they are doing. They are activists. They don't know how to run government. They want to run their programs and raise their careers of being social workers and therapists and whatever else. And so they've realized that they can try to get into governments and get the money through loopholes, such as the illegal loopholes. This was their plan to draw in millions and millions of benefit-dependent illegals who would be getting paid by the system and would vote for them and allow them to have more representation by stacking censuses and stacking cities with larger populations and forcing a power hold for the DNC. And we found it, and Trump and J.D. Vance are stopping it, along with a ton of our elected officials from the GOP and tons of patriots like you guys watching this, like everybody helping and showing up and supporting and pushing back. Here in Vermont, here in Brattleboro, it's essential that you understand what Wendy Harrison has voted for to decriminalize drugs, to decriminalize prostitution, and increase hotel voucher spending and increase climate change spending. None of those votes do anything for anybody in Vermont. Those go directly against the best interests of the state and especially of Brattleboro. We all know that the hotel voucher program has destroyed Brattleboro and caused chaos and drugs and misery in our community, and she's got to go. That's why we're starting now. That's why we're starting now. We need to start now and build a coalition up against her. She is well funded through all kinds of climate organizations worldwide who can donate to in-state organizations, and we have no idea where the money's coming from billionaires, from companies, from places. I mean, she had something like $125,000 in her war chest when she first ran for senator in Vermont. It's going to be hard to beat if we don't all team up when it's time to vote and show up in force. Brenda writes, I'd love to see what our legislature would do if Trump brought the National Guard here to Vermont. Yeah, they would have a meltdown. We'd have huge protests of all these lethargic old people out in the streets. It's crazy. We have 10 people watching on Facebook, and we have 220 people watching on X. It just goes to show you that liberal platforms are shutting down anything they can to silence us and make it so that messages like what I'm telling you, the truth, and how to get your communities back is not heard. Censorship. They ghost ban us. She said 16 on YouTube. Whoop, whoop. The Planet Hank live show, we're always pushing back. And with that, I'm going to do a very wonderful thing, my favorite thing to do, which is I'm going to ask 3 people 3 people to put up 3 dog emojis in the comments. And with that, I'm going to give my boy, the very finest boy in all of the land, a milk bone. 3 people put up 3 dog emojis in the comments. There they all come. Lauren Tiller, Brenda Olette. Come on, we need more than that. Sherry D. Come on. We need more than 3, Marco. I'm not giving it to you unless we get 6. Doxy writes 3. There you go. That's 4. I'm taxing you. I'm taxing you, Bubba. You're not getting nothing. Not if we don't get more. We're not going to have so many. Jeff Bush writes, look what YouTube just had to do. Marco is the finest animal. That's a very nice boy. Caitlin Jill with number 6. The Planet Hank Live Show, streaming on all kinds of platforms. Elon Musk's platform X is where I suggest everybody come to tune in to the finest entertainment. Let's read Paula's comment before we go. Running the state of Vermont into the ground is what they're doing. More people are coming to Vermont for your free services. Thus, why more money for the homeless problem? Putting money in the pockets of nonprofit organizations and politicians. You are echoing what I say all the time. It's a mafia. It's the compassion cartel. I call it Vermont's nonprofit cartel. They green label all of their nefarious organizations that steal our money and drain our tax dollars. They package it in this message of for all people. We're here to help all people. Every time you hear them say for all people, all that means is for drug addicts and homeless people. They wasted $800 million of your dollars to triple the homeless population in this state. At what point do they have to show the results of their spending and get held accountable? It's time for Vermont to wake up. He says, bring back Hank tunes. We got to get some Hank tunes. And a final reminder, next event, October 18th, Chester, Vermont. We got some heavy hitters, Gerald Malloy, Gregory Thayer, Tom Charlton, and your boy Hank. We're all going to be speaking out on the green. There's going to be a large organization of protesters there, and we are having it. We are going to talk them down, and I'm going to bring their voting records out for their legislators, and we're going to take back Vermont. She said, no. She said, keep doing you, Hank. I'm with you. But I do wish you do something on housing first. Vermont needs some housing at all. The Brattleboro News Recap Show, the Planet Hank Live Show, streaming every single week, 8 p.m. Thursday night. The absolute finest entertainment. Share this up with some other patriots and some other people who would enjoy this type of information and this podcast and getting the towns and our communities and America back on track. Thanks for watching.